We'll move on to our city manager's report at this time.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before I begin my comments, I believe Mayor Dowdy has something he would like to announce, so I will yield the floor to Mayor Dowdy.
Thank you, Mr. Shear. I was, and I'm sure the rest of the council, and I hope the community will share in this exciting news. We have a local bank that has heard the cry of someone, me mainly, looking to try to help us with having our annual Christmas parade. And Ms. Crossetier had expended a lot of energy and time the last couple of years, and she did not feel that she could undertake such a large project this year. So CCB, a local bank, has agreed to help us tremendously with the financing on this matter. So I'm very appreciative of them. And then we had to look and find a special person that could be the point person and undertake the go-to person in it. And we talked to several people, and it is an enormous task. And I talked to our city manager, and I told him that I felt like we had someone within our city employment that had done such a good job for us at the theater and helping us keep that on a positive track. And Mr. John Simeon has agreed to step forward and take over that challenge. So, John, I thank you for stepping up. Thank you for what you've done for this community and trying to help the theater move forward. And I know we owe you a great debt of gratitude after the 1st of December. But I am glad to announce that we will have a Christmas parade this year. So thank you, Mr. Shear.
Okay. First, I'd like to recognize the efforts of the police department. Yesterday evening, they, in the attempt to serve a warrant to a gentleman, he barricaded himself at the rear of the residence. And at that same time in the residence, there was 3 small children. So the Major Hathaway, along with the special response team, deployed to this location. But luckily, through the efforts of Detective Sergeant Hardy, they were able to talk this gentleman out, and he surrendered without incident. So, again, thank you, Major Hathaway and Detective Sergeant Hardy. Today, we received a request from the group that is renting the Roanoke Rapids Theater to consider a name change. They would like to change the name out there to the Royal Palace Theater. In reviewing the lease terms, it says that the tenant and the tenant's lender must approve a name change. In discussing this issue with our lender, they said that was fine. They didn't see any issue with it, and they approved it. So unless council has any objections, I'd recommend that we go ahead and approve the change that they want and rename the theater the Royal Palace Theater. So.
Would we need a motion to approve that?
I don't believe so. I think we're authorized to do that here under the administration. So I just want to make sure there was no objections from anyone before we move forward on that.
I had no objections.
Any council have any questions of Mr. Shear?
Okay.
Are there any other names like that anywhere out there?
So far, we've determined there are 2 other theaters. One's in New Hampshire and one is in Utah. However, in discussions with Mr. Chichester here, he said that that issue, if there's any trademark concerns, that would fall on the group that's renting and wants to make the name change and not us.
Okay, so it would not come back to us in the event they would come back asking that you have infringed on my name.
Right.
It would go on the
leasee.
Leasee.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Also, I've been meeting with several local and regional officials to introduce myself and also try to establish relationships with them that hopefully should bring some benefit to the city sometime in the future. So I just want to make you aware of that. With regard to the recent flood, I have some additional information. The State Assistance Center was opened at the Joe Story Senior Center this past Friday, and it was also open on Saturday, and it will remain open through this Thursday. For anyone that still needs to come and file for an assistance claim, that's where they can go. Our Public Works Department has been compiling a list of the city infrastructure that's been damaged during the flood, including some estimated repair cost. Right now, we're currently at least $500,000, and I anticipate that number to rise some more, keeping in mind that we should receive reimbursement of 75% of these costs back from the state. Based upon that, the state notified us today that we are to receive $220,000 from them that they owed us from the public damage that came from Hurricane Irene and the tornado. So they're not exactly quick with paying us the reimbursement they owe us, but that's supposed to be received by us in the next 20 days, and then we can use that to begin our repairs that is needed. The main repairs actually are there at the Franklin Street sinkhole and the Smoot Drive area as well. The Franklin Street sinkhole is ahead of schedule and should be completed sometime the next week or so, weather permitting. The work continues by the Public Works Department on utilizing their camera to review our lines and determine if there's any damage or any blockage. They are also continuing to clean out ditches where they can and other areas to improve the water flow volume and direction. However, because of the scope of effort, that's going to take some time for them to complete. However, they also continue repairs on retaining walls, sinkholes, separated pipes, and the replacement and recovery of gravel in the alleys that got washed out. The Parks and Rec Department has compiled a list of damaged facilities and their estimated repair costs. However, those costs will not be reimbursed by the state. So I've been trying to contact state representatives and other state agencies to see if there's any grants or other funding sources that we can utilize for our Parks and Rec facilities repair. Our insurance carrier has also been notified of any damage to our facilities, and they're reviewing claim information to see what is eligible for repayment on repair. Unfortunately, there's probably not much that's eligible, but we'll see what they say. And I've asked our agent to also get us a new quote for our insurance that would include flood insurance this time and see what the cost is, and maybe we should consider that in the future. And that's all I have.
Question. Question. On the Parks and Rec, do we know how much in damage was incurred at the Hodgestown Chalmer Rec?
At the rec center, we're estimating about $54,000 to fully repair that facility, and along with the items inside that were damaged or lost.
Are there any federal monies that may be coming down to help on some other?
That's what I'm trying to utilize the state agencies for, to see if they can direct me in the right direction for additional sources of funding.
In relation to the ditches and streams, our guys have done a good job on doing that. It appears that there may be some things that may be outside of our rim, meaning that there are some trees and stuff down upstream or downstream, whatever what you want to, or what way you want to call that, that appears to be an issue, I think, in relation to. Have we got any thoughts on that process?
No, I'm having difficulty determining who's actually got responsibilities for that sort of damage and repair in those areas, whether that's us, the county, or someone else. So I'm trying to make that determination first before we can move forward and go from there.
Anyone else have any questions of the city manager? Anyone else have any more information that needs to come before the council tonight?